Sonic Alert started about 35 years ago. Our owner developed some products to help his grandmother be able to hear the doorbell, the telephone, things that help her through her day, and evolved from that with products to help primarily the deaf and the extremely hard of hearing. It's evolved today with a very extensive product line of amplified telephones, emergency telephones, loud alarm clocks that vibrate, and signaling devices that help people understand when the doorbell and the telephone's ringing, and maybe their baby's crying, things like that. We're the guys that make alarm clocks shake and vibrate. Basically, there's a separate unit with about a 5-foot to 7-foot cord, and you put that vibrating unit under your mattress, between your mattress and your box spring. So when the alarm goes off, it's going to shake the bed. But all our clocks have the ability to wake you to sound, flashing lights, and vibration. Well, we came out with the first clock. It was actually a patented clock with a lot of this capability, and that was about 15 years ago. And that's kind of our flagship clock. That was developed primarily for the extremely hard of hearing, the deaf, and that will allow you to wake up to your lamp flashing, vibration, loud sound, adjustable tone and frequency. Everything that hard of hearing people need to help them understand what's happening. We started with our flagship clock, we call it the Sonic Boom. That was targeted to the deaf and the extremely hard of hearing. People that needed flashing lights, primarily sound didn't mean a whole lot to them. Then it expanded from that simply because we saw other people purchasing this clock in different demographics, and they didn't have a hearing disability. They were just young guys, young girls that were going to school and couldn't get up in the morning, probably because they were out studying too late last night. And so we found different demographics, and we designed and targeted different styles. They all do basically the same thing: loud sound, adjustable tone, and vibration. But we targeted certain age groups with the Sonic Bomb. We have the Sweetheart Alarm for the gals. We have the Sonic Boom for again, that's our flagship. That's pretty much for anybody. We have an analog style. Maybe the older crowd might like the analog style. It's easy to use and set. So that's what we did. We just took all the different demographics. We styled a clock for that demographic that has those special features that we do. We have a distribution network, primarily people that distribute hard of hearing products to the deaf. Most of it is done via the internet, catalog type business. We do have more catalog business that's more on the hard of hearing side of things. People like Hammacher, Schlemmer, certain what people like the Sharper Image, these types of catalogs, because they understood the need for the hard of hearing. It's everywhere. But primarily that's the target market, is hard of hearing, and more recently the hard to wake. And people with no hearing disability at all, they just can't get out of bed in the morning. And most of us have kids that kind of fall into that demographic, and we'll shake them awake. Sound doesn't work for them for some reason. The nice thing about shaking you awake is it doesn't wake the whole household up. It's targeted more just for that bed and for that person. They feel it. So that's been a new expanding area for us.
Things that we deal with Sonic Alert would be their clocks. We have a customer base of both low hearing as well as low vision and low hearing. So we needed a product that would give us some sort of clock that would make the sounds that they needed to wake up for alarm situation, but would also be large enough for the low vision client to hear it. So we have both of those factors in the Sonic Alert clocks. And we deal with a lot of students too from schools where the mom will come in and say, I can't get George up at 8 o'clock to go to school, so we want to make sure there's several different outputs for the clock. And that's where Sonic Alert comes in too. They have a shaker that will allow the student or the person to keep that under his pillow or under his mattress pad or something like that, and he would be able to wake up. They have a buzz, so there's both physical or tactile and auditory And then there's a combination of both. The ones I like are the smaller ones because I deal mostly with young students, although families have been in here where they need one that does everything. They need one that has the shaker, it has a bigger presentation in terms of the numbers, and also if they're walking around in their room, that they would be able to attend to it. And I think the Sonic Boom is the one that we do the most business with, because you can actually plug a lamp into that and the lamp would go off when the light would go off when the alarm goes off. And then there are other devices, but that one's probably our most popular for the general population. G-Mark is a series of telephones that allow us to place telephones in the hands of people who are very low hearing. And other devices too, not just telephones, but mostly telephones is what we deal with. So that an individual, if they had to hook up their hearing aid to a telephone, they could do that. If they just needed to amplify the incoming signal through the handset, they could do that. They have control over the sound of the ring. They might want the ringer to be a little louder. And then it would all be contained in the phone and not having to have additional devices, because they do already have some additional devices that you can piggyback off of your current phone to make the ringer be louder, but it seems a little inconvenient for a lot of people. So we do carry those. And they would be at different levels of amplitude also, and we try and help them distinguish between what we mean by loudness and amplitude. So they realize if there's a decibel increase in the incoming signal, that it would be too loud for a normal hearing person, and they would have to, know that that part of the phone would shut down when they're done with their call.
Hello, my name is Eddie Brink. I'm the product brand manager for Sonic Alert. Today I'm going to be showing you a few of our products out of our long product line. We have the SB1000 Sonic Boom Alarm Clock. This is our flagship clock. Extra loud, the bed shaker. Just to give you a demonstration. The bed shaker, you put that underneath your bed and it will shake you awake. You have adjustable tone and volume. So people with hearing loss usually lose their high tone hearing. You can really turn the tone down to make it low tone so you can pick up on those lower tones and wake up in the morning. Then we move on over to our bigger display clock for people with vision problems. They'll be able to see the clock well at night when their glasses or contacts are out. We have an analog version for the seniors. Easy to set, easy to read, has a night light and a dimmer. All of our clocks come with a vibrating bed shaker. Okay, this is our G-Mark emergency response telephone. It comes with the emergency transmitters. You can program up to 6 numbers into the phone. So in case you fall in your home and have an accident, you can press the emergency response button and we'll call up your next door neighbor or a close family, friend, or relative that lives nearby, and they can come over and check on you. Then we move over to our big display phone. This is designed for more of the visually impaired. It also has talking caller ID and talking buttons. So for example, I can press this time button here.
12:36 a.m.
It will tell you what time it is.
Of January.
We have a phone with a built-in answering machine. And then we have our voice modulator phone. It has a display on here that will give you an idea of how loud your voice is. See, people that are hard of hearing can't always distinguish how loud they are speaking. So a phone like this will give them more of a general idea of how loud they really are talking. Most people who are hard of hearing, they will generally scream when they're on the phone. But with this, they can keep their voice down a bit. We have a couple cordless phones in our model line, and then we have a telephone ring signaler that's extra loud. So if you have a hard time hearing the phone ring, this will not only audibly alert you, but it will visually alert you with a flashing strobe light.